Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of American Sniper. The hype has been strong with this one over the past couple of months, and I was so pumped to see this film. And in the end, it was good. So, as usual, let's jump into the many good things that American Sniper gets right. The biggest positive of this film, in my opinion, is Bradley Cooper. I think right up there with Silver Linings Playbook, this is the best performance he has given in his career. He absolutely shines, he transforms, he just disappears into Chris Kyle's persona. I was completely enthralled with his character, and a lot of that had to do with Bradley Cooper. He just brought the words from the page in the script to life. It was really nice to see Bradley shed his pretty boy image and play a role like this and completely nail it. But I also think credit has to go to Clint Eastwood and the writing team for American Sniper. They really worked to bring the persona of Chris Kyle to this film, not just make him a decorated hero or a one-note killing machine, none of that. It was very layered. You understood where a lot of his decisions were coming from. Some of his decisions you had a hard time understanding. And you felt the pain and the mental gymnastics and anguish that he had to go through as a sniper. And it just showed the deepness of being, a Navy SEAL or somewhere else, even in the Army or Marines, just a service member to the country. What kind of toll not only this takes on your body, but what it really takes on your mind. And I don't think other war films have successfully delved into that territory as well as American Sniper did here. And the war scenes are impeccable. They're flawless, they're really exciting, really engaging. They have you on the edge of your seat the entire time. Not only that mental aspect I just talked about, but the physical aspect. And you're just rooting and going back and forth and wanting to know what's happening next. It keeps you so on edge and so enthralled in the action of the story during those war scenes that it automatically, for me, ranks this pretty high amongst war films. However, from this point on in my review, it's gonna sound a little bit like I didn't like American Sniper at all. And I promise that's not the case, but hear me out. The main problem with this film is that Clint Eastwood's ambitions are sky high. This movie has so much potential, but never is really able to reach that potential. I mentioned how amazing and enthralling the war scenes are, but the scenes back at home where, Chris Kyle's with his wife, who's played by Sienna Miller, are not nearly as enthralling, and they're not nearly as convincing. We don't get enough of that home life, and we're not able to be a part of this family long enough to really make things hit home and feel impactful. I think that was a directorial choice, so we could empathize with the wife and understand the mental anguish that it takes on her, being married to somebody who's gone like this. But I don't think it's effective. Instead, it kind of backfires and makes us not really care about this home situation. The stuff happening at home is kind of a side note that isn't handled all that well, so we don't really care. Also, within the realm of the actual war story, Clint Eastwood embodied the villain in the other side's sniper. And by doing this, he literally turned 90% of the film's conflict into a pissing contest between Chris Kyle and the other sniper of who could kill more people or who could get the upper hand. And I mean, it was kind of a chess match, it just didn't feel like a smart chess match. It literally just felt like two guys trying to one-up the other one and show that they're the better man. And I thought the film suffered for taking such a simplistic and bare-boned approach to a much deeper issue. And part of the problem is that our villains were so one-dimensional. So while they showed the anguish of Chris Kyle having to make tough decisions as a sniper and having to morally discover what he was comfortable with, we didn't care about the villains at all. And we didn't actually care about a lot of the characters, including a lot of the army men that Kyle served with. But films are so much more interesting when the villain is multi-layered. And I'm really waiting for a war movie to have the guts to show us their family on the other side, to show us the home life. Maybe do a dual story, one of an American soldier and one of a soldier from the opposing side, and humanize these people so we can fully understand the entire range, and so that these people aren't just villains, but good villains always think they're doing what's right. And war movies never seem to really get that, and this movie also missed the mark, made him a one-dimensional person, threw away, kind of showed him leaving his house where his family was, but that's all we get. We don't care. We don't see him as a human. He's just a killing machine throughout that must be stopped. As true as that might have been, especially through the eyes of Chris Kyle, as the audience, it leaves us, And it just led to an ultimately, predictable storyline. Of course, it's a true story. A lot of people know what happened. It just happened in a very formulaic way, and it's just so disappointing to see a movie that had so much potential. I think a lot of the problems in American Sniper boil down to Clint Eastwood wanting to do too much. He literally showed Chris Kyle from when he was a little kid, jumped ahead a little bit, and then just showed his entire adult life, and that's just too much ground to cover. I wish he would have narrowed in his focus, told a more compact, coherent, detailed story. He could have given all of these situations more time, the time that they really needed to set in with audiences, make us feel something, and blow our minds. Instead, audiences are left almost aloof as we leave the theater. We're sad, we're kind of distraught, we don't really know how to feel, but underlying, there is indifference, and I think that's a huge problem for American Sniper. But overall, it is a good movie. I rant on it and I dogged on it a little bit just because it could have been great, and you can see that greatness lying under just maybe one more edit of the script and then one more edit of the film, and we would have been delivered a really fantastic movie. So I recommend American Sniper. If you're into war films, I think you will really enjoy this. If you followed Chris Kyle's actual story, I also think you will really enjoy this. So it's a definite check out, but you could probably save your money a little bit and take it as a matinee. So, that has been my review of American Sniper. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the conversation. Have you seen American Sniper yet? Are you excited for this film? What do you think of Clint Eastwood recently as a director? And are you interested in seeing a war movie that humanizes the opposition? I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!